In dark skies, give love a chance when you get lost.
Welcome to a new edition of the Neon Jazz interview series with Rotterdam-based singer and bandleader Maaike Dunnun on the 2022 CD Practicing Solitude. She reached out to the show again. We're so glad that she did. We talked to her during the pandemic, and now as we emerge out. This is her third release, and it's a solo project inspired by the pandemic. It is a visual EP recorded in one take. She sings her original songs, accompanying herself at the piano. We get into this album, COVID life, and so much more. Enjoy. Before we get into Practicing Solitude, we spoke during the pandemic, and now we're coming out and things are opening up. You got a new album. Talk to me a little bit about how you survived the pandemic and how it's changed the way that you approach both music and life now.
Thanks, that's a great question. Yeah, the pandemic, I'm speaking in the past time about it. I know that maybe it isn't for some, but it seems to be a little bit behind it. My situation is not so present anymore. For me, yeah, it was tough because, of course, all the gigs got cancelled. That's one thing. But for me, I was kind of lucky because I just had my last project before this one, Inner Space. The tour sort of came to an end and it was time to start writing new songs. So it was not a total disappointment for me in that sense. The timing was all right on my side, but just for it is different if you have a new project out and everything gets cancelled. For me, I just sort of started waiting until this was over, or waiting for some perspective. For me, the biggest problem was the lack of perspective for how to move on musically in the field of arts. We didn't know what was going to happen, and things were changing. How I survived, mainly I was teaching a lot, and I got to teach a bit more in that time. Also a lot of online sessions, which was very taxing on my on my energy, so it kept me busy. But it was also a good thing to still contribute to this music scene in some other way. I always enjoyed teaching, but now I got more aware of that fact that you're sort of sharing music. If you're not playing, you're still sharing kind of that passion with someone in a lesson. For me, that was important.
So it must feel really, really good now to have a new album out. Now with things opening up and live shows happening, does it feel really good to have a new album out now?
Yeah, it does. And it is also, just to get back a little bit to that point, it is also a bit inspired on the pandemic in the sense of that it's a video project. So it's like a visual EP. You have sound and you have audio. You have sound and you have video. And it's recorded sort of in one take, live kind of setting. So it is how the things were in the streaming times. But of course, I cannot wait to perform this live, and it feels great, to have things lined up and look forward to. Yeah, it's a sort of an energy that you put out, and that I look forward to that, definitely.
So, what about live shows? Have you had any lately?
I did a live show, but that was with my band still in summer on a festival in Slovenia. That was like after a long break, so it was an interesting experience, but it was at the same time, it was like it always was in some way. And now the things that are lined up for this project will start in January.
So how did those live shows feel? Did the crowd feel different? Did you get in there feeling different? And what was that like?
It was an interesting mixture of, on one way, it felt like almost like one of the first concerts, like, oh, how was it again? Can I still do it? How will I be? How will everything go? Like, if you gig a lot, then you have this kind of routine. And I felt like, oh, where am I without this routine? It's like I'm starting over or something. But at the same time, then when you start, everything is sort of the same as it was. It was not different, but the crowd, what I feel is that everyone is still a little bit, it's not energy-wise, for a jazz crowd, it's not like I noticed that a lot, but I just have the feeling that people are still a little bit overwhelmed by everything that happened, and not always. Everyone is getting used to it again. That's how it felt to me.
So with
and they were at the same time very happy, like appreciating it maybe more.
Yeah, that's my sense, especially being in the crowd. What are you hoping that people get from this new album?
I hope that they will have a bit of a different experience that I did 2 albums with a band of great musicians, 2 different settings, but always with band, and now this is a solo project. I hope that it is somehow more in the direction of, someone at the piano playing songs. It's a different kind of feeling than a jazz quartet, for example. It has different kind of build up through the songs, and it is more about the song and about the lyric now. And maybe it is a little bit more intimate in a way. I hope that they will get this feeling of being a little bit closer to the song.
So you talked about live gigs coming up. We're closing 2022 out. We're going into a brand new year. What is the future looking like for you?
This is, of course, the tour that starts on the 22nd of January. So I will be performing these songs live, and a lot of new songs I'm still writing to have a program for about two sets, and then with grand piano and with some synthesizer Rhodes kind of effects, so they have a little bit different colors throughout the evening. That I look forward to, and then I just need to proceed with bookings and everything to just keep playing with it. Now it's booked until April in Netherlands and abroad, and I just look forward to playing a lot more, and maybe do another and see where it goes, kind of, because for me this is also a new step. I want to see how it feels, and if I proceed with the solo thing or how it goes. It's actually an exciting step.
Talk to me a little bit about the best place for people to buy the album, and anything, stream it. Where's the best place for people to get the new album?
On my web shop. I have my website. It has now got a web shop on it, and that's the place where you can get a physical copy of the EP. 4 songs on a physical copy, and there is a QR code inside where you can go into a secret digital environment where you can see some things about the creative process.
Wonderful. It's so great to catch up with you. I've been looking forward to talking with musicians that we spoke during the pandemic to hear how things are. It's so good that we're hopefully getting on the other side of this. Projects are coming out. It feels really good from my end of things. So it's wonderful to catch up with you. Thanks for taking time out today.
Yes. Joe, can I say one more thing?
You bet.
I forgot to say that there is also it is about the clips mainly, so you can buy the album on the web shop, but you can obviously stream it on YouTube. There's 4 clips on YouTube, and there is Spotify as well for the audio.
Okay. I'll make sure to have that as links in the show notes as well. Again, thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Have a great holiday season and a great 2023.
You too. Yes, thanks for taking the time.
Thanks again for listening to another Neon Jazz interview. We give you a bit of insight into the finest players and minds in the Netherlands, Kansas City, and spots all over the world, giving fans all that jazz. If you want to hear more interviews, visit Famous Interviews or Neon Jazz Interviews on iTunes or Spotify. Or for everything Neon Jazz, visit theneonjazz.blogspot.com. Until next time, enjoy the jazz, my friends.
See things from there.
Neon Jazz.